Hello and welcome. In this video we will talk about some of the best Platinum trophies to get for beginner trophy hunters. Before we start though, I want to give you the guidelines I used while making this list. First of all, every Platinum trophy on this list have to be fun to achieve, so nothing too hard and grindy. Therefore, I limited myself to 60 hours of gameplay time and 4 out of 10 difficulty. Also, because I know that some people don't like replaying games they already finished, every single Platinum trophy on this list can be achieved in a single playthrough. Another thing to note is that the main focus of this video are AAA titles, so no games under 15 hours either. Last but not least, this is my personal opinion, so we don't have to agree on every single game, but if you think I missed something, please let me and others know in the comment section below. Now with all that out of the way, let's dive right in. A Plague Tale: Innocence tells a great story about a young girl and her little brother, and it takes place in France during the Black Death Plague. The story itself is pretty good and I enjoyed the focus on the character development, and despite it being pretty weird at times, I did have a good time with it. Gameplay consists of stealth and puzzle solving with a little action sprinkled in. Platinum will take you around 20 hours to complete, and with 3 out of 10 difficulty won't give you too much trouble. You will need to keep an eye out for collectibles and 2 missable trophies, but with a guide and chapter select you should be able to manage it. Southpunk Fractured But Whole is the second game in the franchise, and Ubisoft San Francisco did a great job in making it even better than its highly praised predecessor. If you like South Park, you will absolutely love this game as it matches the aesthetics, voice acting, story and humor to its show counterpart. Gameplay-wise, it is an RPG with a turn-based combat mechanic, and as someone who actually never plays those type of games, I had a blast with it. For the Platinum trophy, you will need to complete the game on Mastermind difficulty as a black character. I found the Mastermind difficulty pretty manageable, and as for black character, it doesn't affect much except for the money you earn. With difficulty rating of 3 out of 10 and 20 hours completion time, it was a fun experience. After the poor public reception of Battlefront 2, EA actually did something good and released Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Despite the fact that the game borrows a lot of elements from Souls-born games, like campfires, respawning enemies and losing XP on death that you can recover by hitting an enemy that killed you, it can be surprisingly easy. You can play on any difficulty you feel comfortable, and other than that you will have to find all the collectibles and scan all the enemies. Collectibles can be annoying in this game because levels are big, you have no fast travel and the map can be confusing, but it's just time consuming and not hard by any means. And with the difficulty of 3 out of 10 and 30 hours you can add another great Platinum trophy to your collection. I don't think there's a single person on the internet who haven't heard of Minecraft. Despite its perception, the game is not just for kids and there's a lot of fun to be had in this giant sandbox game, and I actually played it a lot back in the day. As for the Platinum trophy requirements, they are really not that bad. You have to complete the game and do some miscellaneous tasks, one of them being to play for 100 in-game days. That will take you around 35 hours and will probably be your last trophy. The thing is, you can actually just leave your PlayStation on for the night if you don't feel like playing. What can make it even easier is the fact that you can get invited into other players' worlds and earn trophies there, so you can use that technique if you are struggling with one of the trophies. Small disclaimer, 2 DLC packs are currently unobtainable for people who bought the game after the release of Bedrock Edition, so if you want to keep your profile at 100%, keep that in mind. You can still get them by buying all physical copy though. Control is a great game by the creators of Max Payne and Alan Wake, and it was free with all the DLCs in February of 2021 on PS Plus. The gameplay is fun and the combat is one of the more unique ones I had the pleasure to experience. You can use supernatural abilities and a shape-shifting gun to defeat countless enemies in the headquarters of the FBC, Federal Bureau of Control. The story can be convoluted, but I had a blast with this game regardless. As for the Platinum trophy, the difficulty is 4 out of 10 if you don't use an accessibility options, but if you do, it will be an easy 2 out of 10. You will need to finish the story and all the side missions, complete some of the in-game objectives and miscellaneous tasks, and find 120 out of 242 collectibles, which I actually found without any issues and without using a guide. Overall, it will take you around 20 hours to complete. Days Gone is probably the longest game on this list and can take up to 60 hours to complete, although I did it under 50. The story is great despite it taking a while to really take off, and your first hours can be bland. It takes place in post-apocalyptic US after a virus turned most of the population into freakers, mutated humans that are, well, zombie-like. The best parts of the game in my opinion are a strong story in the second part of the game and fighting the hordes of freakers, experience that can be scary and fun in the same time, and I honestly believe that this game is severely underrated. For a Platinum trophy, you will need to complete the story and optional storylines, get 75% of the collectibles, unlock all the skills and do some miscellaneous tasks. One trophy you will need to pay attention to is for collecting 541 items from human enemy bodies, as they rarely spawn after you finish the story. You actually need to pick up the items, just looting the bodies is not enough, so make sure to pick up every single item you can. Overall, with 4 out of 10 difficulty, it should be doable by most people. That being said, the DLC are rough to complete, so if you want to go for 100%, keep that in mind. Spider-Man is one of the best PlayStation exclusives in my opinion. It tells a great story and has an amazing gameplay to accompany it. The combat system is incredible, and although you feel strong, you are never overpowered, as game continuously adds new threats and enemy variety to spice things up. For the Platinum Trophy you are required to attain 100% game completion. That means finishing the story and side missions, finding all the collectibles, clearing out all enemy bases, stopping all random crimes and doing some miscellaneous tasks. The map will help you out with all of that, so no guide needed. One thing that was repetitive for me is the random crimes. They can be a grind if you leave them to free roam after the story, so try to get as much of them as possible while swinging through the city. With a difficulty of 3 out of 10 and 30 hours, anyone should be able to obtain this Platinum Trophy. Horizon Zero Dawn takes place in the 31st century, long after the humanity was reduced to tribes of hunters and gatherers, and the land is dominated by machines that resemble animals. The main protagonist of the story, Aloy, is a young outcast who throughout the story discovers her past and what happened to humanity. I found the story interesting, believable and engaging. For the gameplay, it is a third-person action-adventure RPG with heavy focus on combat that you can approach in any way you prefer. For the Platinum Trophy you will need to complete all the story and side quests, find all the collectibles, complete all the 15 trials with gold stars, scan and kill all the machines, and of course do some miscellaneous tasks. The hardest part is the trials, but you can play on any difficulty you prefer, and after unlocking the best armor in the game, they are manageable. The difficulty is again 3 out of 10 and it will take you around 40 hours to complete. Ghost of Tsushima was released in 2020 to a great critical acclaim. It takes place in the 13th century Japan amidst the Mongol invasion. We are following Jin Sakai, a samurai who is given a dilemma of staying true to his principles or do whatever is necessary to save his people, even if it means abandoning the samurai ways. The world building and immersion Sucker Punch Studios created are incredible, and attention to detail just shows the love and effort the developers poured into this game. Platinum Journey is pretty straightforward: finish the story and all the side quests, find all the collectibles, liberate all the outposts, reach the highest rank, fully upgrade your sword, and do some miscellaneous tasks. You should be able to finish all of that in around 40 hours and without too much struggle, as the difficulty rating is 3 out of 10. This might not be a surprise, but in my opinion God of War is a great Platinum Trophy for everyone to get, not just the beginner trophy hunters. The game is amazing and I honestly struggling to find any flaws. It tells a great story of a father and son relationship and never feels dull or repetitive. The combat can be challenging on higher difficulties, but you are free to play on any challenge level you prefer, as it doesn't affect trophies in any way. For the trophy list structure, it is pretty much the same as the last couple of games we talked about. Finish all the story and side quests, find all the collectibles and do some miscellaneous tasks. What is different is that there are 6 trials you need to beat, and they are manageable if you leveled up enough before attempting it, but it might take a few tries. Another trophy that can be on the harder side is to unlock all the treasures in Niflheim. It is basically a labyrinth and it has its own mini progression system. Overall, it might take a couple of hours, but it's not as bad as it looks on the first glance. After understanding the layout and the gameplay loop, it can be actually enjoyable. The hardest part is going to be to defeat all the Valkyries. They are optional and the hardest bosses in the game. If you learn the attack patterns and have good enough gear, you should be able to beat them, but it will take some practice. Overall, after 40 hours and a little bit of effort, as this is 4 out of 10 difficulty, you will earn another great Platinum Trophy. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, press the like button as it really helps the channel. Subscribe for more gaming and trophy hunting content and visit my website platreviews.com if you want to be the first one to know what project I'm working on next. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching and have a good one.